Welcome back, where we at? Where stories are always intact. Join the fun, let's all react. There reacts, that's a fact.
I got 3 true trick-or-treating horror stories. I forgot which part this is. I forgot I was actually doing parts of like part 3 and part 4. I think this is like part 14, part 15, if I have to give a rough estimate. But yeah, this is true trick-or-treating horror stories. The scary stories I did yesterday, I think there was like one scary story. The other 2, I think one of them was kind of mid. They weren't that well. But I need to find a place to like do really scary stories. I didn't do that yet, but let's see if these are. Let's see what these stories are about. Oh, I hope these are scary. Let's see. Trick-or-treating. There's actually scary music. Make sure you guys grab some popcorn.
I experienced a sketchy situation on Halloween a couple years ago. My cousin came over for Halloween that year just to go trick-or-treating. I was 15 at the time, and I know that's a bit old for trick-or-treating, but hey, it's free candy. My cousin was also 15, and we were planning on taking it easy that Halloween and just hitting enough houses to make a reasonable haul before we went home. My friend and his younger brother went with us, but we eventually went our separate ways. It was pretty busy. There was a whole lot of kids at every house with decorations.
You can't split up during Halloween. You never know what's going to go down.
The houses with lights
especially who's coming into America right now. I would not go do trick-or-treating by myself.
Had decorations up and had lights on. All the people inside ready to deliver candy to trick-or-treaters. But all the other kids, I know for a fact, target the heavily decorated houses. We ended up
I'm not trying to get kidnapped
in a minute because of no lineups. The next house in the line was not decorated at all, but there was a light on, so we thought we'd give it a shot. We knocked on the door, and immediately an older man opened the door. He opened it completely, which revealed 5 other guys just standing there.
Bro, what?
They were much younger than the older man.
Bro, that is so weird.
I'm guessing they were in their late 30s, while the older man who opened the door was in his early 50s.
Are they his kids or what?
He held out a bowl of candy, then reached in and grabbed some and put it in each of our bags. The older man asked Jack what his name was, and Jack responded to his question using a fake name. Jack said bye before the older man could say anything else. We walked off the front stoop, and alarms immediately started going off in my head. Jack seemed alarmed as well, and we started talking about how sketchy that was.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why were there 6 guys right there when we opened the door?
Right.
Why were they all acting so strange?
Right.
Those were the questions that were floating around in my mind.
What were they doing? Were they doing a ritual or what?
Because of how weird that was. We went to 2 more houses, then we started walking to my house.
But who
Jack
knows?
and I glanced back at that
Hey, it's Halloween.
See a car pulling.
You never know what you're going to see on Halloween.
The car pulled up the way we were walking and started slowing down right next to us. The roads were clear, and all the trick-or-treaters were on the sidewalks, so there should have been no reason the car slowed down right next to us. We picked up the pace a bit, and that's when another car sped up behind them, eventually beginning to go the same pace as the first car. I recognized the guy driving the first car, and the guy driving the second car.
How? From where?
The guy driving the first car was the older guy who gave us the candy.
Bro,
and the driver in the second car was one of the 5 guys just standing there suspiciously. There was also somebody in the passenger seat in the first car, but all I could see was the silhouette of the person.
Bro,
Jack and I were
they finna get kidnapped, like I said.
The first car parked right across the street from my house. We didn't even see where the second car went. We just bolted back inside my house.
Okay,
Our parents, who were sitting in the living room talking, asked us what was wrong. We told them the whole story, and when we were finished, we went to the window to check if that car was still parked across the street. And it was.
And it was?
5 seconds after I checked, it drove off.
Oh my gosh.
It had probably been parked there for the 5 minutes since we went inside my house.
Oh no.
My mom and Jack's mom wanted Jack and I to go show our dad.
Bro, I would have went out there and knocked on the window and was like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Leave.
It was just a Halloween game.
Like, bro, what are you doing? I would have went out there and like confronted him. People are so scared these days. I would have went out there and looked for some action, like, hello, mister.
Though I have my own theory on what was going on. The reason why there were 6 guys in the main doorway was because when a lone trick-or-treater or a group of trick-or-treaters much younger than Jack and I came to the door...
Alone? Who goes alone trick-or-treating? No one.
To jump or snatch
them. Bro, unless you're really that lonely.
Teenagers like, and literally the same height as them.
That's messed up.
We decided to play it cool.
Because if you don't go trick-or-treating with nobody, then you obviously go with your parents. Like, if your parents don't want to go trick-or-treating with you, then you need to rethink who your parents are, because, bruh...
Look sketchy.
That's messed up.
Why they were following us in their cars, we will never know. But when the night ended and everyone was off to bed, I realized that house is only 1 block from my house.
Well, I'm sure, because walking distance. And that's the end of the story? Well, I guess they're going to end up getting kidnapped because they don't like to finish their stories. But that is scary. Like, it's a scary thought how they just leave it at the fact that the guy that just followed them home lives only a block away from them and ends it there. Like, and he only lives a block away. The end. Like, bro, okay, so he followed you home. You realized he followed you home. You went and told your parents. You go back, he's gone. And then you realize that was only a block away that you walked to his house. Bro, you need to move locations, but that is scary, I guess. That's kind of scary, but, I mean, I would go to his house and, like, be like, yo, listen, if you mess with me or my family, bro, it's done for. You're done for. You're being canceled. You're canceled, buddy. So that's what I would do, but this is story 2 by Tommy Gross. I think this is AI. I need to find some better stories. No, that was a good story.
This was many years ago. My old buddy Anthony and I were getting on our costumes to go trick-or-treating. We started going house to house just like a normal night. We got to the old part of our neighborhood where our parents would tell us not to go because we were only 12 years old and we didn't know our way around there.
Why would you go somewhere
where you not? We walked up to the first house there, and a nice lady opened the door who gave us big Hershey bars. After that, while we were walking to literally only the second house in this part of the neighborhood, this random guy came screaming and running towards us down the street. He came out from behind a church. We thought it was just a Halloween prank at first, like anyone would, so we stood there just laughing. But as soon as he got up to us, he tried
Imagine you're getting chased, and you're like running for your life, and you just run, and you see a bunch of kids, and they're just laughing at you, and they're like, ha 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 ha. Bro, that would be so messed up, bro.
Candy out of my hand.
And you got this murderer coming after you. That would be some, like...
So my buddy Anthony started hitting him with his pillowcase.
That's messed up.
By the time we got to this old neighborhood, we had a lot of candy, so being hit with that pillowcase surely had to hurt. Anthony was hitting him until he let go of the pillowcase and started running away.
Bro, what?
We thought that was the end of him, until we started walking back, extremely shocked and confused. I called my mom and asked her if she could pick us up because we were pretty far from home, and that whole experience kind of made us want to get off the streets. As soon as she got to our location, we explained what happened, and she almost didn't believe us. That's how ridiculous it sounded.
Whoa.
We got home around 10 p.m., and shortly after that, there was a knock at the front door. My dad figured it was just a late-night trick-or-treater, so we went to answer the door, and standing there was a man in a jumpsuit with a Michael Myers mask.
Oh, no.
My dad was confused because he was wondering what he was doing out alone trick-or-treating, and based on his height and build, he looked like an older man. Not a kid or a teenager.
Oh, nah.
Either way, my dad just gave him candy and didn't really care to say anything. But while Anthony and I were sitting on the couch, we noticed him staring at us, like his masked face was staring right at us in the living room. I felt slightly unsettled by it and was waiting for him to just turn and leave. My dad ended up shutting the door in his face when he wouldn't walk away.
Oh, nah.
So fast forward to like 1 in the morning. We were about to go to bed. But on our way upstairs, we heard a knock at the door. There was no way I was opening the door at that hour.
No
anything
way.
This late. So I went to tell my dad there was a knock at the door, and he said just ignore it.
Yeah.
So Anthony and I go up to the room and turn on a movie.
Just ignore
Anthony heard something though, and told me to mute the TV, And when I did, I heard it too.
Oh no,
It was the sound of leaves crackling in the backyard. I looked in the backyard, and I saw that man in the Michael Myers costume, swinging on the swing set in our yard, staring into my bedroom window.
Bro, no way.
I felt like my heart jumped out of my chest and up into my throat. It's like he was purposely recreating a scene from a horror movie to scare us. I ran into my dad's room and told him that the man in the Michael Myers costume was on our swing set. He took on this expression of shock and concern just like ours, and he looked outside, but he didn't see anyone there. Then, right when we were looking, we heard a knock at the back door. My dad went downstairs to the door, but nobody was there.
Bro.
This man was toying with us, harassing us to scare us. It had to be a Halloween prank. My dad was equally concerned now. All of a sudden, I heard my mom scream in the other room. So Anthony, my dad, and I ran upstairs to see the man in the Michael Myers costume standing at the end of the bed staring at my mom.
Bro, what?
Dad told Anthony and I to run and call the police.
Are you serious?
My friend and I ran downstairs and grabbed the nearest phone. We called 911 and told them that a man dressed as Michael Myers had broken into our house.
But yeah, just, scary. I wouldn't want this happening.
Followed by their sliding window being pushed open. The two of us ran upstairs to see my mom and dad laying on the floor. My mom was crying. My dad's nose was bleeding.
Oh, man.
My dad said the man jumped out through the window.
He got away?
Police arrived. Anthony, my dad, and I told them
How
everything.
did he get away? Why do all these people get away?
Property inside and out, which took about 20 minutes, and the premises was clear. I think that might have been my last year.
See, if this was me in this situation, I would have not let this person get away in the first place because he is just not allowed. You're not going to break into my home and get away with that for free.
Trick or treat.
No.
And for good reason.
Nope.
I still wonder if the man that tried to take my candy was the man wearing the Michael Myers costume. And I deeply regret leaving that part out of the story we gave to the police.
Okay, so this is story 3, and this is anonymous. I hope this is scary because this is anonymous. So an anonymous person told this story. Well, that story was pretty scary because now the person who broke into their house is still on the loose. That is crazy. But this is story 3. Is this going to be a bop or flop?
Halloween was always one of my least favorite days of the year.
What?
I never had a lot of friends in middle school and high school.
I love
so I never really
Halloween.
had any plans on Halloween. In middle school, I didn't really go trick-or-treating. And in high school, I never really went to any Halloween parties. This was also the time when my sister was away at college. So due to the fact that my parents were hardly ever home, I'd usually be home alone. This was one of the Halloween nights that I was left home alone. Halloween was on a Friday this particular year, so kids were out on the roads
awesome.
later than usual.
That's awesome.
My parents were gone for the week.
Halloween on a
Mom
Friday?
had a bunch of bags of candy for me to hand to kids. I got kind of sick of the doorbell ringing every 5 minutes all day, so eventually I just poured an entire bag of candies into a plastic bowl we had in one of the kitchen cabinets. My mom never really liked leaving a bowl on the stoop, but she wasn't there, so what was she gonna do? That lasted a good while, because the constant ringing of the doorbell stopped for a couple hours at least, and when the bowl was empty, I refilled it. I wasn't expecting to hear the doorbell again the rest of the night, because even if the bowl were emptied, I assumed people would know not to bother ringing the bell at a house with an empty bowl. So when the bell did ring again, I was not only surprised, but also felt a hint of annoyance.
Oh no,
I
people
ignored the first
actually
ring,
do that?
But about 30 seconds later, there was another ring. This time I got up from my computer, pausing the game I was playing, and went down to check who was at the front door. I opened the door, and there were two guys in white vendetta masks holding small plastic bags with very minimal candy inside, it seemed. Neither of the two of them said trick or treat. They just ominously both stood there, and then lifted up their bags and held them open.
They don't
I
deserve
said, hang on, I'll
candy.
get more candy.
They have to say trick or treat. Trick or treat! That's the whole point of
I went
Halloween!
to the bag of Reese's and
Like
grabbed
what?
a few to put in their bags. When I dropped the candies in their plastic bags, one of them, I don't know which, asked in a monotone voice, "Are you home alone?"
Oh,
I said no,
man.
but with a stutter because the question scared me. I said my parents are here. Then I said have a good night and shut the door. I waited by the door listening to see if I'd hear them walk down the steps. I finally heard footsteps leaving, so I felt relieved and started going back upstairs. But that question, am I home alone, kept haunting me.
Right?
I
Like,
couldn't just go back to my game after hearing that.
what?
And then I realized the possibility as to why they would have asked me that. Because there were no cars at all in the driveway or in front of the house, yet the lights were on. Then when I, an at the time 14-year-old kid, opened the door, I probably looked like the easiest target ever. My paranoia was clearly justified though, because while sitting at my desk trying to get back into my game, I heard this loud bang from my window.
Oh, nah,
I was on
man.
the second floor, so clearly
Bro, I actually
something was
just got a
thrown out
heart
the
attack
window.
from that. A mini
My heart
heart
started
attack.
to pound the inside of my chest again.
Alright.
In response, I turned off the computer screen and desk lamp to bring darkness into the room. I then looked out the window, and though I couldn't see anything out there because it was too dark, another object was thrown at the window right in front of me, this one scaring me even more than the last. It sounded like a rock. I instantly felt this intensifying sense of danger. I ducked back down behind the window and left my bedroom. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, only an iPod Touch.
Oh my
So I had to
gosh.
get to the kitchen house phone.
Are you serious right
I
now?
crawled my way down the stairs so not to be seen through any of the windows. I got to the kitchen phone and dialed 911.
On a military
I think
op,
they saw not
psyop
just the light from the
mission.
little screen of the phone, because there was suddenly an aggressive banging on one of the kitchen windows.
Oh,
And
no.
now I was on the phone with 911 begging for help. As I crouch walked out of the kitchen and towards the back door, I screamed, realizing there was one of the guys in the vendetta masks on the other side of the back door, trying to open it. I started screaming into the phone for help, but around the same time, a familiar voice was calling from the other side of the front door. It was our next door neighbor, Chris. I rushed to answer the door and he came in, clearly happy to see I was okay. He took the phone from me and spoke to the police for me. He saw the two masked men enter my backyard from his kitchen window. I saw them
no.
throwing multiple things at the windows of the house.
Oh my
By the
god.
time any police officers arrived at the house, those two masked men clearly knew better than to have stuck around. Chris invited me to sleep at his place for the night just to be safe. He was good friends with my dad before he moved, so he really didn't mind helping me.
That is
Have good
scary.
relations with your neighbors. May just save your life one day. You never know.
That's
What I do
scary.
know is this experience made me hate Halloween just that much more.
Well, that sucks. Man, that was crazy. Wow, that was scary. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was actually really scary. It was a scary video. Oh my gosh, I got so spooked out. Imagine if somebody chased you during Halloween to your house and now they know where you live. Oh my gosh, it's just scary stuff. Make sure you guys are safe out there. Make sure nobody follows you home because it will get crazy out. And there's going to be a lot of people that aren't allowed to be trick-or-treating, but they are trick-or-treating and they will try to come after you, and you need to be safe. Just stay safe. There's going to be watch out for the razor blades and the chocolate and all that good stuff, man. You know, it's going to be crazy, so stay safe. But yeah, this was pretty scary. I'm going to be linking this in the description below if you guys want to go check it out for yourself. Yeah, go check out my other scary story videos. I think this was like part 15 or part 14 or something. So yeah, go check those out. Link in the description below. It'll take you right to them if you just click the link. First video. Boom. And yeah. But yeah, if you guys want more, let me know in the comments below. Anything. If you want anything, just comment what you want in the comments below and I'll reply, and the reaction will be out probably by tomorrow. So just yeah, let me know, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next react. This has been Bear with the react. If it's not a react with Bear, then it's not a react at all. Screw.